Hear me out. Both of them. One of them's got to hit. They're 6'5". One of them's got to hit. I mean, I'm so serious. You draft Jeff Caldwell and Chris Brazzell, second round, third round, boom.
You could have two studs.
How are you gonna guard them?
No, I mean seriously. Like that's something that they would never consider.
They would never
not
consider
even
it,
thinking
but
about it. No one has talked.
You're
about
telling me
this
that
spot.
wouldn't be a huge threat to. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast Field Goals and Forecast presented by After Sports. Now on WSBU 88.3 The Buzz. We're sorry for taking a little break last week. 5 shows and 6 shows in 2 weeks. This is a bit much. We ran out of content. There's nothing to talk about now that we've hit the off season. But we've got a good episode in store for you today. We're going to talk about the Combine, maybe some pre-off-season stuff, what teams could make a big move, what teams are primed to maybe fall off, and then we'll wrap it up from there. And no show next week. Of course, we're on break, so you get a bi-weekly show from this point forward. What can I say? We hit the off season.
Yeah, we're in the worst part of the off season where literally no one's allowed to do anything.
Yeah.
So I mean, nothing can happen.
The most exciting news right now is the fact that Kyle Pitts is getting franchise tagged. That's how you know it's getting rough.
Which, by the way, I mean, just a quick reaction to that. I mean,
yeah. It's all right. I mean, I don't love it. I would have loved that I would have preferred we either just sign him or trade him or release him or do something.
Release him?
Well, not release him, but let him get into free agency. I should have made that very clear. But I don't know. He's primed for 6 touchdowns next year. So,
I just don't like the move on a franchise tag for him because you figure if Penix is going to get a little bit better, like you would want him to, then you're going to just see more production from Kyle Pitts, right? And then the contract maybe gets a little more expensive than it would have been this year.
Yeah, I don't think the contract gets any cheaper. I think you're right about that. I think, but $15 million this year for him, that's all right. I can live with that. That's not the worst franchise tag in the world. On the other side, George Pickens gets franchise tagged by the Cowboys. That's $30 million a year. So
I think that's a decent franchise tag, though.
Give or take. Yeah.
Is he going to perform that well again next year? He might. He very well might.
That is a very good point. I think Kyle Pitts only goes up. I think George Pickens can really only go down. And I mean, down is still probably in 1,000-yard season, regardless, So,
yeah, unless he does it again, and then they got to pay him.
Then they got to pay him a lot of money.
Yeah.
So. But let's start with just the field goals of the week, except there's only good. There's no really bad in the offseason. Nothing has happened. But the Combine is this Thursday. Kind of snuck up on me, I won't lie. I looked it up and was like, wow, it starts this week. I wasn't really expecting that. But here we are. The Combine is starting this Thursday. We're going to go over some players we're excited to see. Just a couple guys who I think could either move up or down in the ranks. And I mean, as Bills fans, we are looking for a wide receiver. So there are a few wide receivers on this list for sure. So, that's exciting.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to start with a very obvious one that I kind of just want to get out of the way. Not a huge fan of him, but Ty Simpson from Alabama. What are the odds he's a first-round pick? I mean, teams would really have to reach, right? I mean, we know Mendoza is going to go 1-1. But after that, I don't know if there's another quarterback that we see go in the first round. The only other one I would see is Ty Simpson.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. Do you remember the feeling of draft day when your Falcons took Penix and it was a big surprise?
Yeah.
I think Simpson has even less around him than that. And I mean, I think if the Falcons didn't draft him, he could have, Penix, that is.
Yeah.
He could have fallen, late first, maybe second round.
I wonder if he gets past the Raiders. They had the pick 2 after us, something like that. So
maybe. Yeah. No.
I wonder if he gets past the Raiders. I wonder if he gets past the Broncos, who took Bo Nix.
I think they really liked Bo Nix.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, even Bo Nix was supposed to be a second or third rounder.
It's the guys that are supposedly second or third round.
I mean, JJ McCarthy should have been a third or fourth round pick. Granted, he ended up going, I think 8 or 9. I think it was 9. It was. You know what? It was 10.
Was it 10?
Pretty sure it was 10.
I really can't quote you on that. I just remember watching it and being like,
Penix was
what is going on?
McCarthy was 10, and I was really happy that the Falcons did not draft JJ McCarthy.
I feel like the better question here is do you see anyone drafting Ty Simpson? Like what team would just be like, just go get him.
So
spend a first on him.
the LA Rams do have 2 first-round picks, right?
Floating that out there.
You get the guy that you want later down the line. You with 30, they have the 30th pick.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, maybe
either 29 or 30.
It's a late one.
You go and get a guy who probably shouldn't go in the first round, but has upside potential. You let him sit behind Matthew Stafford if he comes back for another year. If not, you got to find a long-term solution for him.
Yeah.
I don't think it wouldn't be a terrible move.
No.
I personally wouldn't touch Ty Simpson in the first round, maybe not even in the second round. But teams get desperate for quarterbacks. That's very clear and obvious, I think.
Yeah, as they do. For me, and this is not because he has that much room to go up or down. He's kind of sitting where he's at. Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. I think just any time you have a running back considered top 10 in the draft potential, that's an explosive athlete. That's somebody who, hey, if he just runs what he's supposed to at the combine, does what he's supposed to do, then he can earn himself some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's in a good spot to improve a little bit more, get into that top 10 and be a guy that teams are genuinely very excited about.
So I believe the Chiefs, where are they sitting? Pick 10?
Oh, dude. You just
The
know.
Chiefs are sitting pick 9.
That
feels like a very Chiefs pick. Probably first round fantasy pick next year as well. Just throwing that out there on the table.
Yeah.
But you're right. Let's make it clear. He might not even go to the combine. Guys, that happens. It's
still
top name talents.
Decision's still out there. I've looked. It's kind of just like he hasn't decided. Okay.
But
thanks.
You're looking at the Commanders could even take him. The Saints right before him. Alvin Kamara's getting a bit older. Teams could trade up to get him. If he overperforms at the combine, which very likely could happen if he does go.
Because he's that good.
He is unbelievable talent.
So good.
It's not crazy to say he goes top 5.
I would encourage him to go. Because of how good he is, I doubt he can hurt himself there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It would be an interesting move to see the Cardinals take him at 3, but I could see it. The Titans could go with him at 4. It just depends on what happens in the offseason too, right?
Yeah,
but
you got to include that as well.
Yeah, combine only can help you. Most of the time. I shouldn't say only can help you. Sometimes it hurts you. But my next player here is a wide receiver. We talked about this. We're going to have a lot of receivers on here. Zachariah Branch, wide receiver from Georgia. What they call a gadget guy, right? A lot of screens, a lot of short passes, a lot of putting him on a drag route, letting him break free for 50 yards, right? He runs about, they're thinking he could probably run the fastest 40 of the receivers in this class. They're thinking low 4.3, which is great. Don't get me wrong, that's great.
It's great.
Tyreek Hill ran a 4.31, 4.36, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
This is a slot guy, screen guy. What else can you really say? But he could really solidify himself in the first round if he has a great athletic showing. He is 5'10", right? You're looking at like a faster Khalil Shakir, basically. Is Bills wise, that's what I would peg him as.
Okay. We'll get back to that after the combine. We'll see how he performs. I don't want to say too much. I love Khalil Shakir.
No, I don't think I don't know if the Bills would take him, but listen, we love our screen passes.
Yeah.
That is having a gadget guy would be fun. It's kind of like a Deebo Samuel,
a shorter
Tavon Austin, except worse type of guy.
Yeah. I want to talk about Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. First of all, props to Ohio State for filling the top 25 of the guys coming in this upcoming draft with 3 or 4 at least, I think. They're just loaded. Phenomenal job from Ohio State. Great. But one of the best safeties in the class, and he's been described as a human missile, Ryan. Have you heard that?
Yeah, that's I haven't heard him get called that, or really anyone get called that, but that's usually a pretty good thing.
Yeah,
I would go out of my way to say that.
No, very fast. They say, around average size, which could hurt him, I suppose. But I don't know. My mind takes me back to last year's draft where there was a couple of really solid safeties. Emin Wari, just someone to mention. Guys
Malachi Starks,
were really good, who for some reason kind of just dropped off a little bit in that later first round. I feel like if Downs, brother of Josh Downs, by the way.
Yeah, did not know that.
Didn't realize that until like today.
Should have.
I think if he performs well at the combine, he could be a guy who kind of explodes up and finally get that like big name safety. Maybe
the safety disrespect is actually kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
When is the last time a safety has been drafted in the top 10? I'm gonna Google this real quick.
Yeah, no, please do, because that's something that I was wondering as I was going over this. Like, who am I excited to see? Who could wow me and honestly wow the entire NFL, because they don't love to take a safety in the top 10.
2010. You want to try to guess who it was?
I have no idea.
2010. It was Eric Berry, longtime Kansas City
great
Chiefs safety.
Come on.
And then Sean Taylor, 5th overall as well.
Okay.
In 2004. And Eric Turner is the highest drafted safety in the modern era, taken 2nd overall in 1991. Not that anybody cares, but the New York Giants have a very big opportunity to take him at 5. I think that's a fair move for them, honestly. But if he impresses, which he probably will, he could go higher than that. Very, very intriguing prospect, at least. And you mentioned like standard size. He's 6 foot. That's pretty good for a DB.
And that's not even my words. This is just what I'm reading about him, right? And just from my observation as well. But like, I don't know, 6 foot, you got to take it, especially when he's a human missile. Come on.
Human missile at 6 foot is...
Get him in the top 10.
It's a bit scary. I think top 10 is definitely where he ends up, but we'll see once he gets closer to, of course. Next up, I have another DB. I'm going with D'Angelo Pons from Indiana, national champion Indiana. He's 5'8". That's the only problem, right? He's 5'8", 174, very small. Realistically, for a corner, I think that's an okay size, but you're still going to be undersized. You got guys coming out 6'4", 6'5". It's going to be tough to cover them.
Yeah, but I'm going to talk about someone that it would be tough for him to cover. Yeah,
if he ends up a slot corner, a nickel corner, something like that, I think that's fine. I think even if you move him to like a free safety, like what the Texans do with Jalen Petrie, I think he could fit really well, like a free safety nickel corner kind of duo there. Side note, I think that's a really interesting position, but I'm going to come back to that in a second.
Okay.
If he measures well, even if he adds another inch to his height, if he measures at 5'9", I think that upgrades his stock.
Yeah.
If he was a state champion, 100-meter dash. If he runs a great 40, that ups his draft stock. I think he can only help himself by going, again, undersized, did go to Indiana. They had a lot of spotlight on them this year, but previously not really. And I thought he performed way above average at Indiana as well.
Well, and it comes down to the numbers, right? People are going to judge him on his height, his weight, but look at those numbers. Man, look at these numbers. I ran a 4.2. That's where he can really make up
what
for
he
it.
did in college is very impressive. His stats are a big focal point, I think, but we'll see.
Yeah, my next guy here, wide receiver out of Tennessee, Chris Brazzell. He's 6'5", 200 pounds. Everyone's going to have their eyes on him probably, but certainly someone with the build of a number one, an X on a really any NFL roster. It's just time to see now at this combine. Athletically, is he there? Is his route running? How's his technique? Is he going to be able to compete at the highest level against guys like you mentioned? Hey, I'm sure there's a play where he gets a little mismatch on someone who's a smaller 5'9", 5'10". He's got to be able to perform in areas like that, use his size to his advantage. So combine's definitely going to be a spot where we can check that out. Looking
at his combine grade, at least for now, like they're pre-grading, whatever.
Yeah.
He's sitting at a 6.36, which is pretty good for so it's top 50 roughly, which is good. He could. He's 6'5", right? If he shows out at the combine, this is a guy who could easily get pushed into the first round. A desperate team late, let's say the Buffalo Bills, could make a move on him.
I wouldn't be that upset. He's a guy who, Buffalo so desperately missed a big play, up and down the stretch of this season. He's a guy who averages 16 yards a catch.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
That's something that Buffalo needs.
Yeah. Not to absolutely copy you, but I'm going with another guy who's 6'5", Jeff Caldwell, wide receiver, Cincinnati.
I've drafted this guy in Madden a couple times.
He's 6 foot. He is 6'5". Basically, if he runs a fast 40, makes some good catches, same thing, right? All eyes are kind of on him. He's got the size. He didn't really produce too much at Cincinnati. It was also Cincinnati at the end of the day. I mean, he was their wide receiver 1, but it's just not a great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's not. They didn't play that well, in all honesty. From what I've seen from him, he's a more athletic Keon Coleman. Can still get that separation. He does run decent routes, at least from what I've seen. But like, it's kind of what the Bills thought Keon Coleman would be. He's bigger, he's faster, he's more athletic.
Even if the Bills drafted Keon Coleman, but he was 6'5", like just this guy's build, he wouldn't be as bad as Keon Coleman is.
Hear me out. Both of them. One of them's got to hit. They're 6'5". One of them's got to hit. I mean, I'm so serious. You draft Jeff Caldwell and Chris Brazzell, 2nd round, 3rd round, boom.
You could have 2 studs.
How are you going to guard them?
No, I mean, seriously. Like, that's something that they would never consider.
They would never
not
consider
even
it,
thinking
but
about it. No one has talked.
You're telling me that wouldn't be a huge threat? You got one on one side, one on the other. You're looking at D'Angelo Ponce. He's 5'8". You've almost got a foot on him.
Hey, come on. And like, we love using some tight ends. Get some tight ends running around out there. Get these 2. I mean, we're having too much fun thinking about
just throw it up. Like, that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
No, if we draft 6 receivers, one of them's got to hit. That's the mentality.
Yeah.
But that's who we're excited to see at the Combine. Let us know down in the comments who you're excited to see. And hopefully one of them's good. Hopefully one of them shows up and shows out.
Yeah.
And we look okay. But let's move on to which bad team from last year do you think is just 1 or 2 moves away from playoff contention? So this is a team that didn't make the playoffs this year.
Yes.
Might have a shot next year. I'll let you start here.
I'm not going to lie. The 3 teams that I took were not risks whatsoever.
Yeah, that's fair.
These are all teams that, in my opinion, will be in the playoffs next season, and that's I think most of you would agree. I'm going to start it off with the Cincinnati Bengals. Just, I don't even know if this is necessarily coaching related, and obviously there's not going to be a whole bunch of change there, but the defense, man, bring in someone that can do something enough to stop teams from averaging 30 against you. Otherwise, you've still got an elite offense, even without great O-line play. They still have an offense that's going to easily produce 30 points a game. So it's just, get yourself out of those, shootouts and win some games with the defense. Make some moves, see what you can do.
Yeah. I think this draft really reminds me of 2022. That was the Kenny Pickett draft, if that helps you at all. Except you take Mendoza out of it. This is the 2022 draft. A lot of defense, a lot of skill position, wide receiver, running back. And I think this, if you're a team that needs defense, this is your year. There are so many great prospects coming out. And again, let's say Downs falls to 10. I don't think the Bengals pass on him. No. I think that's a move they could make that would greatly impact their performance.
What did they take last year? Was that Shamar Stewart?
It was Shamar Stewart, and didn't sign him immediately. There were a lot of problems with that, and honestly,
I mean, how much of a difference realistically can anyone make being
any one person?
Yeah,
yes,
Bengals
I understand.
Line, yeah.
4 sacks in 2 years in college is also just not
abysmal.
Really good.
I remember we were talking about this,
but not the point. I know this shouldn't come as a surprise. I say this every single year, but it feels like the Falcons are 1 or 2 moves away every single time from playoff contention. They are in the weakest division.
Are they really?
The NFC South, is the weakest division in football.
No,
all they have to do is beat the Bucs or the Panthers, who, granted, the Panthers are okay now. But you got a new coach, you got new coordinators. If Penix comes back healthy, even if he doesn't, you bring in someone else, a veteran or something. I think you just need to make the playoffs. I'm so serious. How many years are we going to waste all this talent that we have?
You brought in a great new coach.
Yes.
Never mind. We don't have to talk about James Pierce Jr., but he's obviously not going to be playing next season, which sucks. Yeah. The defense gets a little bit worse. But
I don't even know what they can't target anything in the draft. They don't have a first round pick. So
no first round pick.
Yeah.
So you guys have been looking at sleepers.
Honestly, if
time.
James Pierce doesn't have attitude problems, it's a great trade. Like, I don't mind it that much, but
Yeah. No, he was a rookie of the year candidate, among others. But
it always feels like the Falcons are a move away.
yeah,
I don't know what that move
it
is,
really
but
does.
maybe another receiver, maybe a corner too. If they get a second corner, even in the second round, I think that defense is like top 5.
We'll revisit that.
Okay.
That was certainly a statement. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. This was the most obvious pick of them all. I know I just mentioned the Bengals, but the Chiefs, their move that they need to make is get Mahomes healthy.
Yeah.
And that running back, like you mentioned, hey, Jeremiah could make a difference. Unfortunately, I do see him landing with the Chiefs if he's not going to be picked in the top 8 or what is it? They're 10, maybe top 9.
9. Yeah.
So, like you mentioned, could be a first round fantasy pick.
They pushed Mahomes to his absolute limit, and then they were like, "Oh wait, we actually have to put players around him."
Yeah. Wait a minute. It's kind of just what the Bills have done entirety of Josh Allen's career.
The thing is, like, I think Jeremiah Love makes too much sense for the Chiefs at 9, but they need a lot more than that. They really do.
No, realistically, yes. I mean,
like they need offensive linemen.
They need an O line.
Yes.
And like we've seen, even with guys like Genty, you can't just get drafted to some team without an O line and immediately produce. He still had he had some games where he just, you're not going to keep, the lion in the cage. He's going to jump around. He's going to get out for some big ones. But I don't know. He could still make enough of a difference that they make the playoffs.
Yeah. My next team, I think, same division, right? This is kind of a sleeper team for me. I've kind of thought about it more and more and more, and it's making a lot, like almost too much sense.
Okay.
The Las Vegas Raiders, I think, are a very underrated team next year. They are the absolute worst. I understand that they have the very first overall pick, but you have Mendoza, okay? You have Genty. You have Brock Bowers. You fix up the O-line a bit. You get a solid wide receiver 1. The defense, it needs a lot of work, but it's fixable. They could be solid next year. Maybe sneaky playoffs, but I doubt it. I think they could be very, very competitive next year, if nothing else.
Okay. We'll see. He wouldn't be
They
the
got a
only
great coach as well. So.
I'm saying if they draft Mendoza, he wouldn't be the only quarterback to be selected first overall and then lead their team to the playoffs. I mean, I think Cam Newton fits that bill.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
Yep. Well, not his first year, but his second year.
Second. Okay.
Yeah, because he got hurt.
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess.
Rookie quarterbacks, first overall, that led their team to playoffs. I don't know. I'd have to think about it for too long.
No, yeah. There's some older ones too. I just had it up for a second. Terry Bradshaw's on there.
Okay.
It's a bunch of guys.
Fair enough. But I think the Raiders could be all right. I think they genuinely could be competitive. It's a tough division, but with the Chiefs kind of on their back foot, the Chargers are always hit and miss, and the Broncos are even more hit and miss on offense. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I severely doubt it, if nothing else.
Well, I hope you're right because that one's bold. That's a bold one. Yeah, you recognize that?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It is.
Yeah, you do, of course. Excuse me. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys.
Here we go.
That defense, I'm not even sure if that many moves need to happen. The Cowboys defense was not bad towards the end of the season last year. Last year. They figured it out. They figured out a way to be average defensively, which is all they needed. And with Dak and those 2 wide receivers, Javonte Williams 3-year extension, there's a ton of reasons that guys should be looking at the Cowboys, taking them seriously going into next season. I hate to say it, especially with the defensive talent in this draft, Ryan. They can make some picks that make a difference right away.
The Cowboys finished 7-9-1.
Yes.
Which gives them the 12th overall pick. The Falcons finished 8-9. If that makes you feel better. It's not that safe of a pick if you're looking at it that way. I mean, to be fair, the Chiefs finished 6-11.
I guess
right?
it doesn't feel like as safe of a pick just because the Cowboys are the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know what to make of the Cowboys.
I think
their
they're a playoff
defense was
team.
abysmal. I mean, that was the only problem. They had to win in shootouts every single time. And
I think if you get rid of some real bad losses to teams that you allowed to be in a shootout with, none come to mind right now, but they were playing close with every team.
And, I mean, we don't have I don't want to extend this too long. I was thinking about this the other day. The Falcons lost to the Jets midway through the season at some point.
Just don't do that.
If the Jets lose that game, they have Fernando Mendoza. They have the very first overall pick, probably.
And you guys make the
considering
playoffs.
The same thing happened, and the Falcons make the playoffs. So, that's the kind of game we're talking about. Like, the Cowboys had a lot of stinkers in there. They lost to the Panthers. That was a stinker. I mean, looking back, like that was the start of it, and it was like, all right, I don't know if this defense can't win in the playoffs.
No, and they didn't make it there. So.
No, they did not. And then my final team,
I like this one.
It's risky again, but I think the Tennessee Titans have a chance to do something.
Chance to do something per Ryan Adio. You heard it here first,
Chance
folks.
to do something. They have the 4th overall pick, which I don't think, honestly, is going to affect their team that much. They're going to have to make some offseason moves. Their coaching staff, unreal. Actually, unreal. They have a great coaching staff. Saleh is the head coach, and then they have Brian Dable as the offensive coordinator. I mean, that's
plenty of reason to be confident in them.
that is a lot of head coach experience on a roster. I mean, they have a young quarterback. They just have to put some weapons around him, give him an O-line. The defense wasn't that bad.
Defense played solid.
Yeah, the Titans' defense is really not that bad. So I think now you have a defensive-minded head coach. They could make a splash. I mean, granted, the other teams in that division are pretty tough, but you could make some sort of noise in there.
I honestly hope they do. Yeah.
But let's go to the other side. I mean, which team do you think is most primed for a fall off next year? And I go ahead and start again.
Yeah. I'm just gonna kick it off. Not a fall off, but regression likely.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots. They just give them a real schedule,
Seriously.
and they will lose much more. I could still see them being an 11-win team, 10-win team, but I mean, come on, just like play some hard competition, and they're due. They're literally just due. I wish I had more of an analytical reason. I don't.
I have to hope that not I have to hope, but I have to think that they wouldn't make the Super Bowl again.
You have to hope.
I would think that they wouldn't make the Super Bowl again, and they wouldn't probably win the division either. But again, it's not a fall off, but I don't think they'll be as good next year. That's fair to say.
Yeah.
I have another AFC East team, and it's not even really a fall off. I just think this is probably going to be the worst team in the league. It's the Miami Dolphins.
Oh.
I think that team has been decimated and decimated and decimated. No more Tyreek Hill. No more Bradley Chubb. And there's someone else that they released. But the Dolphins basically just cleaning house right now. And I'm sure they'd be more than willing to ship off Jalen Waddle. They're going to ship out Tua. The O-line is actually pretty solid. I won't lie. The O-line's fine. The defense is terrible.
Terrible.
Just not good.
Just terrible.
Just one of the worst I've seen.
Yeah, no, they are. They're bad.
There's nobody on that defense.
I'm going to scoop up in terms of a team that's primed for fall off. I'm sure you agree with me. The Steelers.
Yeah.
They
picked the two most winningest franchises in history.
Really?
Yeah. You picked
That is
Patriots, Steelers.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Regardless, no more Tomlin. That could have been enough for a fall off. And Aaron Rodgers, I mean,
yeah. I doubt he comes back.
I doubt he comes back either, but if he does, like I don't even care.
Why? Like why?
Why would you?
I mean, McCarthy's the head coach now. They might stick with Will Howard at QB. I don't.
DK Metcalf will probably get suspended for 3 games for like. Sorry, I'm not even to totally crap on DK Metcalf's character. However, he did punch a fan.
Yes. Yeah. At the end of the day, you are correct. Yes.
Yeah.
No. Whatever, man. I don't think the Steelers will be anything next year. And that division is just kind of bad.
I want to talk about due. I was just talking about the Patriots are due. The Steelers are due to just suck.
Yeah,
and
I
I
have
think
to at some point.
I think fans are kind of like, all right, we managed to stay 500 all these years that we just could have been rebuilding instead.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
The rebuild is due.
My final team here is the Indianapolis Colts. We talked about the Titans maybe on the rise. I think the Colts will definitely be on the downfall. I don't think Daniel Jones is all that. Jonathan Taylor really, really, really slowed down at the end of the season. The defense kind of got figured out, but they were great. It depends on what clicks next year and what doesn't. If they re-sign Daniel Jones, if they don't, I don't know. But I think the Colts definitely had a miracle year. It can only go down.
Yeah, and Sauce Gardner, who they traded for, just spent 2 first-round picks, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe that's correct.
That was a great deal from the Jets, by the way. I mean,
they
respect
cooked
for
with
getting 2 first-round picks for Sauce. But I think that's going to be a trade that we look at and we go, what were the Colts thinking? I mean,
yes.
I'm not saying
2026 and 2027 first round picks.
so this year and next year.
And Adonai Mitchell.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Throw him in there.
I mean, he was good for them at the end of the season.
Yeah. Hey,
not
remember when
to
he
blame,
threw the
but-
ball out of the back of the end zone?
Yeah, that was really cool.
Or he didn't throw it. He got tipped, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's on the Jets now. That's pretty Jets.
Yeah. That's a Jets thing.
Final thing here. Just a quick run through. Here are the free agent QBs. They're right in front of you, actually. Where do you think these QBs are going to end up? I mean, there's 5 of them. We got Malik Willis, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Tua, and Kirk Cousins. Let's start with Malik Willis. I think the hottest free agent quarterback could make a splash. Could get about, they're estimating $20 to $30 million a year. I don't want to be that guy. I thought Malik Willis was pretty good coming out. I thought he would have been the best QB from the 2022 class. Titans gave up on him. He was sent to Green Bay pretty quick. I mean, they got Will Levis in there, and they just sent him straight out. I wanted the Falcons to draft him. They had the opportunity to. They took Desmond Ridder. Not the point. He's back on top. Where do you think he ends up?
I'm just throwing the team out there because they do need a quarterback, and I think they move on from the guy that they currently have, and that's just the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals try to get him.
I think he would fit great there. Yeah,
he has wide receivers to throw to.
Yeah,
kind of an O-line.
It's not too bad. It
not
isn't.
horrible.
It's not too bad. Yeah,
and well, he doesn't have a defense. However, some cornerstones possibly, young guys on that defense.
Yeah.
Will Johnson, who we will forever be jealous of the Cardinals for having because the Bills didn't pick him. Regardless, we can't talk about this every time.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ryan? I think he's going to go to the Cardinals.
I think the Cardinals would be a great fit for him. Although I do think maybe like a Dolphins would be a solid spot for him. Give him a chance with a rebuilding roster, with a young, changing roster. I don't think that's the worst decision.
I actually might like that more than my pick.
A 2-year deal is probably the most I would give Malik Willis, but I don't mind it.
Especially at the money that he's projected.
Yes.
And you can't screw around and offer a 4-year deal with $30 million for Malik Willis.
The only place I don't want to see him end up is Green Bay, honestly. So
yeah.
And then next up, Kyler Murray. Could he be moved? Could he not be moved? I don't think so. I think he stays with the Cardinals.
He's totally a Jets quarterback. What are you talking
you're
about?
right. That's
What
the most
are you
Jets-looking quarterback I've seen in a long time. But
that was my pick there.
yeah, poor guy, man. Cardinals to Jets is not a pipeline you want. Daniel Jones is next. Again, I think he stays with his current team. I think he goes to the Colts.
I think he could stay. I think that's probably what he's going to do. However, I love to play devil's advocate. I do agree with you, Ryan, but since I don't have Malik Willis going to the Dolphins, I have him going to the Cardinals, and I have Kyler Murray going to the Jets, let's just continue this round of musical chairs, and Daniel Jones, you can go to the Dolphins.
Fine enough. Yeah, that would be a spot for him that I don't like at all because I think he would absolutely fail there.
He probably shouldn't go there.
Yeah.
I just thought we could have
There's
some
no
fun.
way you think Daniel Jones is better than Tua, though, in that current situation.
I mean, has Tua done anything to tell me that he's better than Daniel Jones?
I guess that's fair, but I wouldn't see. I don't think I see either of them working out.
Daniel Jones would die there. However,
Yes.
I think the Dolphins would give him money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% they would.
They need to sell
GM
tickets
too.
next year.
Yeah. Next up is Tua, which I think some veteran competition for JJ McCarthy would be a good thing for him. Let's see him go to the Vikings.
I 100% agree. I think no matter where he goes, he'll end up being a backup. But like you mentioned,
competition.
Veteran competition. Let's just see. And you know what? There's always a chance he just returns to old form magically.
Yeah. And he's got a huge contract. He does not need the money. I mean, from Minnesota. And then last up, former Vikings quarterback, former Atlanta quarterback as soon as that March 1st window opens.
When they said that they would let him go.
Kirk Cousins, where is he going to end up? I think it's the retirement home. But if I had to pick a team, maybe the Jets, maybe the Steelers.
I'm pretty sold on retirement.
Yeah. He was on the set for CBS. Let me make that very clear.
Yeah. Another thing, like he has a future analyzing football on TV. I think once you do that for a couple of years, you have a future as a head coach possibly. Yeah. And he does strike me as a guy who would be a solid coach.
Seems like he's a good dude. At the end of the day, he's a good dude. He just was really bad for the Falcons.
Yeah.
But that will do it for the mostly the meat of our show. I did want to touch on one final thing. Very, very saddened by the loss of Rondale Moore. He was 25 years old, drafted by the Cardinals. Then he went to the Falcons. Then he was with the Vikings. He took his life this weekend, this Friday. Just devastating, man. You really want those guys to just do well. Young talent, went to Purdue. He was a great receiver there. He had a couple flashes on the Cardinals, and then just injuries killed. And the mental health part of that is so deteriorating, and just very heartfelt sad that the situation ended how it did.
I mean, one of my closest friends tore his ACL. That was the worst couple months for him, and that was like, you need, make sure you're there for those people. And honest to God, if you haven't already, check in on your guys, check in on everyone that you love. Just make sure that no one needs to talk, because this is the stuff that you see that, reminds you to check in, and we should do it more regularly. We really should.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, Rondale Moore was gone too soon.
Yeah. But following that will do it for this show. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in a couple weeks after the combine's done. The offseason's starting to swing in, and we'll be in with some good content there. But thank you guys so much for watching. This was Field Goals and Forecasts on WSBU 88.3 FM, St. Bonaventure. Peace.